The political thaw in the Soviet Union during the 1960s resonated deeply within the realm of photography. The stiff, staged propaganda images of the Stalin era began to give way to something new, something more real. Candid moments of everyday life, vibrant glimpses into the human experience, these became the new focus. And at the forefront of this visual transformation was Vladimir Lagrange. From a young age, Lagrange possessed a passion for capturing the world through his lens. Friends, family, random strangers, all became subjects of his photographic explorations. In 1959, at just 20 years old, he embarked on his professional journey as a photojournalist for TASS, the country's principal news agency. This marked the beginning of a remarkable career, one that would span an entire era of Soviet life. Lagrange's approach was distinctly lyrical. He shunned the staged and the artificial, preferring instead to document the everyday moments, the unscripted scenes that revealed the true fabric of Soviet society. He focused his lens on the workers, the metallurgists, the pilots, the miners, the doctors, the farmers. My goal, he wrote, was to introduce readers to their work and lives authentically. And in doing so, he created a powerful visual record of a nation undergoing profound change. The death of Joseph Stalin in 1953 marked a pivotal moment in Soviet history. From within the ranks of the Communist Party, a new figure emerged, Nikita Khrushchev. His rise to power signaled a shift, the beginning of what would become known as the Khrushchev Thaw. This period, while cautious and often contradictory, represented a significant departure from the oppressive policies of Stalin's reign. In 1956, Khrushchev delivered a speech that stunned the world. He openly denounced Stalin's cult of personality and the brutal repressions that had defined his rule. This act of defiance, this breaking of the silence, served as a catalyst for a series of reforms. It was a tentative step, a fragile opening towards a more liberalized Soviet Union. The thaw brought with it a gradual easing of censorship. Artists, writers, and filmmakers, long stifled by rigid ideological constraints, found themselves with newfound freedom to explore. Themes critical of Stalin's rule, or those depicting the complexities of Soviet life with greater nuance, began to emerge in their work. It was a time when previously unthinkable creations, a novel questioning the regime, for instance, could not only be conceived, but even celebrated. Millions of political prisoners were released from labor camps, a tangible sign of receding state terror. Khrushchev also prioritized improving living standards for ordinary citizens. Housing projects sprang up across the country, and efforts were made to increase the availability of consumer goods. While these initiatives did not represent a complete transformation, they signaled a clear intention to move the Soviet Union away from the austere conditions of the Stalin era. However, the thaw was not without its challenges. Hardliners within the party and government resisted the reforms, creating a constant tension between the forces of liberalization and those seeking to maintain the status quo. By the early 1960s, the momentum of reform began to wane, culminating in Khrushchev's removal from power in 1964. The subsequent crackdown on dissent, marked by events such as the trial of writers Yuli Daniel and Andrei Sinyavsky in 1966 and the invasion of Czechoslovakia in 1968, signaled a retreat from the liberalization of the thaw. Historians often draw parallels between Khrushchev's thaw and Gorbachev's perestroika and glasnost in the 1980s. Both leaders, operating in different eras, initiated dramatic reforms aimed at transforming Soviet society. Both efforts, while initially embraced by many, faced opposition from entrenched interests and ultimately proved short-lived. Even Gorbachev himself acknowledged the remarkable nature of Khrushchev's achievements, particularly his 1956 speech, while also noting the ultimate limitations of his reforms. Despite its eventual curtailment, the Khrushchev thaw left an enduring legacy, a testament to the persistent human desire for freedom and change. Continuing our exploration of Vladimir Lagrange's photography, we delve deeper into the nuances of the Khrushchev thaw. This period, while marked by a loosening of restrictions, was far from a monolithic experience. Lagrange's lens, with its keen eye for detail, captured the complexities and contradictions of this era. He documented the burgeoning consumer culture, a phenomenon both celebrated and criticized. Newly available goods, from televisions to refrigerators, began to appear in Soviet homes, signifying a rise in living standards for some. Yet, access to these goods remained uneven, creating new disparities and fueling a sense of longing among those left behind. Lagrange's photographs didn't shy away from these complexities. He captured both the excitement of acquisition and the lingering anxieties of a society grappling with material change. The world of fashion also underwent a transformation during the thaw. Hemlines rose, colors became bolder, and Western styles began to influence Soviet trends. Lagrange captured these evolving sartorial expressions, documenting the subtle acts of rebellion and self-expression that played out on the streets and in public spaces. These images reveal a generation eager to embrace new aesthetics, to break free from the drab uniformity of the past. The thaw also witnessed a resurgence of interest in the arts. Literature, poetry, cinema, and theater experienced a period of renewed creativity. Lagrange frequented these cultural hubs, photographing writers, artists, and performers. His images capture the energy and dynamism of this cultural renaissance, the palpable sense of excitement and possibility that permeated the artistic scene. He documented not just the finished works, but also the creative process itself, the rehearsals, the discussions, the moments of inspiration that fueled this artistic flourishing. Yet, the shadow of the past loomed large. The memory of Stalin's repressions remained a potent force, shaping the contours of the thaw and influencing individual behavior. Lagrange's photographs, while often capturing moments of joy and liberation, also hint at the underlying anxieties and uncertainties of the era. A fleeting expression of hesitation, a cautious glance over the shoulder. These subtle gestures, captured by Lagrange's observant eye, speak volumes about the lingering psychological impact of the Stalinist past. Religion, though officially discouraged, also experienced a subtle revival during the thaw. Lagrange documented religious practices and ceremonies, capturing the quiet acts of faith that persisted despite decades of official atheism. These images offer a glimpse into the spiritual lives of Soviet citizens, revealing the resilience of religious belief in the face of state-sponsored secularism. Lagrange's photographs from this era offer a powerful testament to the complexities of the Khrushchev thaw. They reveal a society in transition, grappling with newfound freedoms while still burdened by the legacy of the past. He documented the triumphs and the setbacks, the hopes and the anxieties, the public pronouncements and the private yearnings of a nation on the cusp of change. Through his lens, we gain a deeper understanding of this pivotal moment in Soviet history, a period that continues to resonate with us today. As we move towards the latter part of the Khrushchev era, Vladimir Lagrange's photographs reflect the growing complexities and inherent contradictions of the thaw. The initial optimism and sense of liberation began to give way to a more nuanced reality, one marked by both progress and persistent challenges. Lagrange turned his lens towards the changing landscape of Soviet cities. New housing projects intended to alleviate overcrowding and improve living conditions rose against the backdrop of older, more traditional architecture. These images capture the physical manifestations of change, the visible signs of a society attempting to modernize and break free from the past. However, they also hint at the disruptive nature of progress, the inevitable tensions between the old and the new. The realm of education and scientific advancement also captured Lagrange's attention. He documented students in classrooms and laboratories, capturing the intellectual curiosity and thirst for knowledge that characterized this era. These photographs offer a glimpse into the aspirations of a generation eager to contribute to Soviet progress. to push the boundaries of scientific discovery and intellectual exploration. The space race, with its intense competition between the Soviet Union and the United States, fueled this drive for scientific achievement and became a source of national pride. Lagrange documented the public fascination with space exploration, capturing the excitement and wonder surrounding Soviet space missions. However, the Thaw's promise of greater freedom and openness was not fully realized. Censorship, while relaxed, was not entirely abolished. Lagrange's own experiences as a photojournalist reflect this delicate balance. While he enjoyed greater latitude than his predecessors, he still faced certain limitations and constraints. He navigated this complex terrain with skill and sensitivity, capturing the spirit of the era while also acknowledging the enduring presence of official control. The lives of ordinary citizens remained a central focus of Lagrange's work. He continued to document the everyday moments, the joys and struggles, the triumphs and disappointments of Soviet life. He photographed families at home, workers in factories, children at play, capturing the human dimension of this historical period. His images reveal the resilience and adaptability of the Soviet people, their capacity for both hope and endurance in the face of ongoing challenges. As the thaw began to recede, a sense of uncertainty permeated Soviet society. The reforms initiated by Khrushchev, while significant, proved to be fragile and reversible. Lagrange's photographs from this period capture this growing sense of ambiguity, the realization that the promise of lasting change might not be fully realized. Despite its limitations, the Khrushchev thaw left an indelible mark on Soviet history. It represented a period of experimentation and exploration, a time of both hope and disillusionment. Vladimir Lagrange's photographs serve as a powerful visual record of this complex era, capturing the human stories that unfolded against the backdrop of political and social transformation. They remind us that history is not simply a sequence of events, but a tapestry of individual lives, each with its own unique narrative and perspective. Through Lagrange's lens, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexities of the thaw, its enduring impact on Soviet society, and its relevance to our understanding of the human condition.